Alright, so right now I'm about to install some hella Supertones in blue. I'm gonna make this video kind of short because I don't think it'll take too long. I'm gonna try to do it in one take, but got them in blue to kind of match the F Performance theme, and it won't stick out that much through the grill. I'm not looking for that Subaru look, but I didn't want to get plain black. So it comes with a low frequency or low pitch 300 hertz horn and a 500 hertz horn, which is the high pitch horn. I also ordered it from Import Image Racing, which is primarily a Subaru site, but this harness is for like an STI Outback, but I can use the ground wires if they're not long enough to just use I didn't want to make a harness and buy material, so I was just kind of lazy. It was only 35 bucks. So I can use this as just the ground harness, or I can loop it if it's not long enough and use the rest of this, which is intended to be the power side for a Subaru, because I think it only supplies power via one wire. It has one horn, but you'll see how I'll make that work in a second. So, get this stuff out of the way. Pop these clips off. You should see the two horns here. That's a 12. Unplug this. And even though this car has a special connector for the horns, they would plug into the Hellas directly. Found that out thanks to Sean Boyle, I believe is his name, on one of the performance pages on Facebook. So thank you for that. I do have a ratcheting wrench, but I can't find it, so. So that's the stock horn. I think this horn went out. Not I think, I'm pretty sure it did, because I'm only getting like the high pitch sound. So instead of buying a new factory horn, why not upgrade them, right? Put those in the scrap bin at some point. Move on to the next one. So on this car, there's a black wire and there's a black wire with a red stripe. The black and red is the low frequency side, and the solid black is the high frequency. So I'm going to install it the same way, just in case there's like I don't know, voltage, or maybe not voltage, but maybe it supplies like certain amount of amps to each horn. Unplug that. Trying to lose our wire. There's the other horn. And the driver's side of the car, left side of the car, is the the low frequency side. So actually what I can do I wonder if I can minimize the amount of wiring I'm using. just put the ground in the center. Yep, I think I can. So I don't need this part of the the harness after all. I was worried if this would be long enough, but it looks like it is. And just route it under here and then use the hood latch, one of the hood latch bolts, or maybe even the safety latch to ground it. So I don't see on this horn where it says whether one side is power or ground. I think it's one of those type of circuits where it'll work either way, but we'll see. And thank God the horn is not too long. Well, it's kind of long, but it'll still work. I was worried that it would hit the one of the heat exchangers, but it looks like it's probably just gonna rest on top of it, which again is fine. Oh, I should plug it in first. Okay, so I already see I'm gonna put the ground on the top side. There we go. And plug the horn on the bottom. Bada bing, bada boom. This is why we do these things. All right, I found the angle that get it to go in. The high frequency. So I'll route this under here. I really don't know if there's a power side or ground side for these horns, so I am just kind of winging it. I'll give you a close-up in a second. Try not to drop any bolts in the process. Give you a close-up in a second. Go ahead and tighten it down. And for ground, so which one will I be able to reach? So I think I'm gonna go here. Stretching that wire just a little too much. ratcheting wrench. So this is the right side bolt for the hood latch that I'm using as a ground. Should be fine. Oops. So, I'm trying to show you. Got this horn in, got the original OEM connector on the bottom of the horn, or the bottom connector, and then the ground wire on top. It just clears the core support, like just barely. Then the harness is routed through here, grounded right there. Same thing, ground wire on top, OEM connector on the bottom, and should be it. Let's see if the horn works. Okay, horn does not work. So let's maybe swap the polarity. Let's see if that works. Damn it. So I don't know why, but I ended up having to use the other part of the harness. It's possible maybe the spot that I chose to ground it, maybe there's not enough metal exposed because it is painted here. There is metal exposed on this back side. As you can see, this little sensor used to be here. Oh, hold on. This sensor used to be here, but I relocated it to here for because of the heat exchangers. So I used this spot, 10 mil and a 10 mil, grounded it, looped or not looped, but connected the rest of the harness like I said I was going to in the beginning. Sorry. So this is the original ground wire going to the horn, the top part, and then that's connected right here. And then this part of the harness is connected to the top of the horn here. And this is just gonna be exposed. Maybe I'll throw some tape over to something so it doesn't short for any reason. But then again, if it grounds itself on something, it's not a big deal because it is a ground wire anyway. But you never know, like it's electricity, so weird things happen. And then I'll just like loop this harness and then zip tie it. Like maybe that hole right here, and I'll just zip tie it. But the horns work. Let me show you. Or you can listen at it. That's loud. So no more getting cut off. I don't know what it is about Maryland and Virginia drivers. They just love to pull out in front of you and cut you off whenever they can. So at least they'll get an earful of Supertone horns in the process. Because before it was just like this car is invisible, despite it being, you know, red. Maybe it's too low, maybe it's just too small, I don't know. Or maybe people just don't care, but I always get pulled out in front of. But yeah, let me, damn, I don't have any black zip ties. nice. And then fold that here. Should only need one zip tie for this. I'm not gonna use more than I need. Maybe I do need one more. Show you what. It is just a zip tie. So what's one more? Secure the harness to itself, like so. Damn, I guess I could have looped that through here. Oh well. Maybe I can. There you go. All right. That's secure. And it's not a big deal. That can hang out there. Trim this. Back for the hood latch. So it is easy. It just like everything, trial and error. You gotta figure it out first, but it's an easy job. So if you want hella Supertones on your Lexus, Toyota, IS, GS, RC, they're essentially all the same. It's all the same system. You're gonna have two horns. You can use that harness like I did or make your own. Just make sure that there's a good contact point for the ground. I think that was my first issue. And then we just put the cover back on and we're done. And it shouldn't look too bad. I know everybody wants like blue accents for these cars, and that makes a lot of sense. So you can kind of see it through the grill, but it's not like, you know, I was thinking about yellow, but I was like, definitely not. That's too much. Black. Black is cool too, if you don't want it to show, but that's just the right amount, I think. Of course, it's, you know, that's just with the light from the camera. I think that's the perfect amount of exposure. That way you know they're there, but they don't stick out like a sore thumb. And then harness is secure. It's out of the way. Ground here. I guess you could shave down any of these holes. Like depending on how you do it, you could just shave the paint off of the core support and then put your bolt to ground it through. Maybe a nut and bolt like I have here, or right here is already a threaded hole. But yeah, I think $35 was worth it for that harness, because I mean I could have spent $20 and bought the material from AutoZone and made it myself, but then I would have to, you know, make it, which is another 30 minutes to do. So, and this harness doesn't look too bad. It's got a protective sheath, like braided nylon or something, and then heat shrink all around connectors, so it's weatherproof. I like it. And the horn sounds nice. Sounds good. That's loud. Whew. All right, see you.